Hey, well, I'm going to come back live today on this election day, selection day. I want to come back because I know so many times, so many people say you need to vote, but they don't really have the information, the knowledge necessary to make informed decisions. So what I want to do is kind of come and give like a brief history or a brief synopsis of what this election or how this even relates to you as a voter. Okay. First of all, let's understand. And thank you, family, so much. I miss you guys and I appreciate the support. And let's keep this food for thought going. Uh, First of all, I just want to say, no presidential election has ever been decided by a popular vote. Contrary to what you've always felt growing up, where the person that has the most votes wins. They do that for everything, whether it's deciding professional athletes, MVPs, or deciding presidential elections at schools. It's all predicated on who received the most votes, right? And so you learn that growing up. Hey, Ashley, you learn that growing up that the person that receives the most votes win. You did. So you get, pretty much, over the years, this process of popular vote is ingrained in you. And so when you become an adult and you start, okay, I'm gonna vote for president. When you go cast your vote, well, just understand, it's all dictated on a totally different process. And if you know anything about the presidential election, it's based on two ways of doing it. It's not just a popular vote. Okay, 6 out of 7 elections, the popular vote has been won by Democrats. 6 out of 7 elections. So that tells you right there that if that was the case, then the last 6 presidents should have been Democrats. Not the case. You did? So how did they do it? Something called electoral college. Now that to me is something that they started. It's in the Constitution. The people that wrote the Constitution put this in there. And you got to ask yourself why. Okay? Because the divide and conquer is real and it's strong. Well, why do you say that? Well, every state has electoral votes. All right? Every state has them. It's a total of it's a total of 538 electors. What's up, B? All right? It's a total of 538, right? Now, the presidential candidate that received 270 will win the presidency, right? So, but let's look at this. I'm going to explain to you how this divide and conquer is so real. But when you've been brainwashed or you've been, institutionalized mentally to not really understand the political system, then you would just go on and just vote. I voted, and just feel good about voting, but not really take in consideration, how your vote is going to count, or if your vote count. What it do, fam? What it do? All right. So let's look at this for a minute. Each state has electoral votes, depending on what state it is, whether it's a red state or a blue state. Look out, Cowboy Chris. Look out. KY, what it do? If it's a red state or a blue state. What? Texas is a red state. So if you Democrat and you vote in Texas, then what you really have to ask yourself is, wait a minute, if this is a red state, then that 38 electoral votes is going to probably go to the Republican candidate. And you're a Democrat. And if you go to, if you're a Republican in California, which is a blue state, you really have to wonder, man, how does my vote count if I'm living in a blue state and I'm a Republican, or if I'm living in a red state and I'm a Democrat? The divide and conquer is real. So you stay, kind of like misinformed. If you look at how, and they put it right there in plain sight, family. If you look at how this process is, well, if we're in Texas, which I'm in Texas, it's a red state, then Trump knows he's going to win this state. Okay? So all the Republican states that are pretty much Republican, Trump winning those. The blue states, okay, Biden winning. And so you got to ask yourself, you have two 70-some-year-old, Caucasian guys, right? All these young people are going to vote. I hope they understand, family. I hope you guys understand that it starts at a local level, because this whole electoral college is a scam. All right. All they need is 270, whoever it is. And so, this pandemic is total diversions. How they want you to go vote, go vote, go vote, but then you can't go nowhere. It doesn't make sense. All right. You say, B, okay, Trump got Mississippi, okay. Yeah. And that's why right now today, Trump and Biden, they in Pennsylvania. They go into what they call the battleground states. Think about how disingenuous that is. All these other states that put their votes in, right? The presidential candidates can care less about y'all. They up there in the battleground states. And what makes them battleground? Because electoral votes. The popular vote doesn't matter. What did you do, Marco? Man, KY, that's crazy. All right? So the popular vote doesn't matter. If you vote for president, I hope you know I hope you know what color your state is. Because you running up there and voting, and you in Texas, and you call yourself a Democrat, well, I hope, okay? I hope you understand that it's a red state, though. He basically gonna probably win this state. And so all he need is 270 electoral votes, family. All right? If you want to vote on a local level. Because right now, students are still out of school. All right? People are still homeless, still jobless. At $1.8 trillion that these cats got of our money sitting at the U.S. Treasury, deciding on whether or not they're going to give a stimulus package. Now, you got to understand, if you don't know who your congressional candidates are, your senatorial candidates, all right, and you just worry about voting for president, that's who make the laws, Congress. If Congress making the laws, what you worry about the president for? That's a figurehead. It doesn't matter who's there. Congress is what's way more important. And so you have all these people that's, in Congress for years and years and years. Nothing's ever getting done. It's because the president is a figurehead. You run it to vote for president, but you don't know who your congressional or your senatorial candidates are. And if you're depending on what state you are, you should be voting on that. That'll flip your color of your state. Yeah. So that's right. So if you look at the principles of government, popular sovereignty, republicanism, all that kind of stuff, the popular vote doesn't count. It doesn't make sense. So you have to know that, voting for president is a joke. If you want to go on a local level, start voting for your school board members, your city councilmen, because remember, the monies that come to that state, it's only going to be allocated with those who are looking out for the best interests of people. And then when you're mostly a politician, you're not doing that. You're looking out for yourself. I mean, just look at the situation right now, family. All right? And what it do? Okay? So I just want to come back live real quick because, just to reiterate, all you need is 270 electoral votes to win. Whoever wins, they just need 270. So your vote really don't count too tough if you're not in the state comparable to what they are representing, whether it's Democrat or Republican. You got to see where you are, because where you are affects how you live, and how you live affects where you are. So, politically, I can dig it, but won't you pay yourself first? See, that's the key right there. Paying yourself first and look at this economic landscape. The stock market going up and down with all this phony money. Put yourself in a situation, family. I promise you right now, the stock market right now, 171% overvalued. Why would anybody be investing in the stock market today? Okay. Now, like I said, if you hit that Novavax, like I said, months ago, or that Sorrento, you made a little change, all right? But just jumping into these, Facebook and Amazon and Apple, Google, all that kind of crap, no, hold tight, family, because it's going to be a real, real good situation, all right? So if you got change, look at other different avenues of investments, gold, silver. I'm not really into gold too tough, but it is a a way to allocate your funds where you don't lose it. You dig? But this stock market, family, no. Save your change, get your credit straight, and then get you some land. Try to buy you some land, some tangible assets, because all the currency in the world right now, family, is overvalued by over 90%. The only thing that's propping up this economy is the military. That's why they put so many trillions of dollars into it. And that's why they have all the commercials on the television trying to enhance us to have our young men go serve this country in Army and in Navy, Air Force, Marines. And then they come back and then can't even go to college. You know? Or don't even get the sessions they need. You did? So, you know, politically, family, and that's what's up, Golden. Politically, family, I can dig it, but economically, it's a way more valuable situation right now. That stuff that's on the television right now, you got the real actors and the fake actors. That's it. All right? And so if you voting, you politically inclined, I can dig it. But what I would definitely suggest, if you try to look at things from a more localized area, the municipalities, you know, your city councilmen, see who those people are. And why not put people in office from the neighborhood? I promise you there are a lot of bright young people out here with great ideas. But, you know, we stay stuck because we've been, been used to something for so many years. And we become cognitively dissident on the reality of it. So play yourself first, family. I just want to come back to a little food for thought, get a little information, and so have a reality on this selection. Because believe me, if they wanted the power to go to the people and the people to choose the candidate that's best going to support the nation as a whole, they would have never instituted the Electoral College. The popular vote would win. All right? Kanye, fake actor. I mean, those guys, like I say, anybody you see on that platform that's not really doing anything tangible that you can speak of, then they part of the whole game. You know, they part of the whole game. No, you can't have it both ways. Either you're gonna step on the set real from the beginning, you know, or not. You can't come on as an entertainer and saying all this stuff, but you're not really being real about certain situations. Then someone run for president. Come on, let's keep it 1,000. I'd have had more respect for you, dude, if you ran for city council in the city you was in, or if you was on the school board and made sure did some tangible things, you know, for the community. Because that's what happens if you're real about it politically. But if you just in it for selfish reasons or for, you know, publicity, those guys are all puppets. So they get. I don't try to give them much of my mentors because they don't do anything for anybody but themselves. Like Michael Jordan, I mean, what did he do? He just opened up another clinic. He's sponsoring a NASCAR driver. Come on, man. All the people in tough times right now in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So, like I say, pay yourself first, family. You know, economically stay on top of things because, like I say, right now the stock market is tricky. It's overvalued, right? Money is overvalued. I would definitely try to make sure if you got some change, put it in some type of account where it can make a little interest, because at 0.003%, 0.001%, family, you're getting robbed. All right. And remember, interest rates are 0 right now. So what you think will happen when they do reset this situation, when they do go into a recession, depression, because it's going to happen. It's cyclical. This is just like the political process is scripted. So is the Wall Street and the stock market is scripted. Every 7 to 8 years, it's going to crash. Okay? And no doubt always goes, and no doubt, I mean, come on, man. If we still following the same Constitution from the 1700s, this is 2020. If we're still talking about, you know, there's inequality in the streets, you know, Black Lives Matter, all that kind of crap. Are you serious in 2020? No. It doesn't change unless the system changes. Simple as that. And so right now, you know, you'll be basically spinning your wheels and you'll be basically, you know, having your eye closed instead of seeing things for what they are. If it don't fit, you must quit, family. It's not no other way around it. You know this is throw. You know the elections are rigged. Come on. 6 out of 7 elections, the popular vote has been won by Democrats. There hasn't been the 6 out of 7 presidents have been Democrats. Just the last election, Hillary won like about 50 million votes. You did? So, you know what I'm saying, fam? I just want to come back with a little food for thought. I was sitting here, just kind of thinking. I said, man, let me get a family some food for thought on this political thing, because a lot of time we get, inundated with all this other stuff that's going on, but then they throw that political process on you. And guess what? What happened to coronavirus? Every day inundated with coronavirus. Oh, it's election time, president, bam. Okay? So it's all fake. Okay? So, fam, I'm going to get on out here. I just want to come back. Like I said, KY always go, and I appreciate it, brother. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it. Let's just stay conscious. Let's just stay conscious, family. Pay yourself first. Stack your chips. Wait till this market crash, because it's going to crash, right? And then make sure when you put your change into something, put your change into something that's tangible, something that you can touch, something you can feel. Don't just keep it in the stock market, because that's phony baloney. Yeah, get your change, okay? All right, family. Appreciate you guys checking out my little fellas on the video. I was, kicking with my boys and, having a good time with them and stuff. And they wanted me to put that on video. So I said, all right. So, guys, thank you for joining me. In the meantime, between time, guys, may the Most High inside of you bring you joy. All right. And I always go and say, who do you think will win? It all depends on what the agenda is. Honestly, with the divide and conquer so strong, if Trump don't win, and just look at this logically. If you look at, and this is the tricky part, okay? If you've been watching them, right, you've seen all the rallies, you've seen like maybe 4 or 5 people at Biden's rallies, then all these people at Trump rallies. I mean, common sense. You can't say, well, they saying that Biden is winning right now. How? When you see all the support that Trump had, just like the last election, it's the same thing. Okay? It's the same thing, no doubt, Chris. It's a pandemic. So, honestly, it all depends on what the agenda is. If they want to shut down this nation again and precipitate the crash quickly, then Biden will win. Okay? Because what they're going to do, they're going to shut everything down again, which is going to basically put a lot of people in a tough situation. And then these insiders, because let's not get it twisted, fam. The stock market doesn't live. That ain't this whole notion, the stock market is going to crash or this. No. These are insiders with long cash that's going to decide, okay, hey, we done propped it up here and let everybody else get it here. And so now what we're going to do, we're going to sell all our stock and bam, get it back here. Wow, these people that got in that was thinking the stock market was real and wasn't paying attention, gonna lose a lot of money, family. So you're talking about 401ks, you're talking about retirement plans that's gonna be wiped out. It cannot last like this. Okay? It cannot last. But let's say they want to prop it up another couple of years or another 4 years. Then Trump will win. Okay? Because remember, the market is only on phony money anyway. How can you justify, a market capitalization that is 171% of the GDP? And what that means is how the stock market is worth so much money, but then the goods and services produced in this country way down here. Who buying all these stocks? You dig? So, take it for what it's worth, family. If Biden wins, the crash is coming quickly. If they want to continue to prop up this phony economy, then Trump will win. Okay? So, and what I say, but Cowboy Chris, I got to say, the public's reaction, remember, it's always manufactured by them. Remember, when you constantly put on the teleloud, the nation is in ruins, or, there may be a lot of stuff going on after this election. You putting that in people's heads, okay? And not only you putting it in people's heads, you basically have that group of people that they pay to come and be those dissidents and come to cities and locations that, that they don't even live in and start problems. So of course, So I don't think it's not about the public's reaction. We're struggling right now. It's too many people struggling right now. All right. So, it's going to be a situation where, depending on what the agenda is, not our reaction, but the agenda. Because remember, it doesn't matter what our reaction is because they can shut that down quickly. Okay? We ain't got no power like that. It's perception. See, we think we have rights. No, we have privileges. Okay? Because anytime you can have something taken away from you like that, then it's all just privileges. No doubt, fam. All manufactured scenarios, psyops. Okay? Think about it. When they interviewing people and the camera's already in their house. Huh? How'd it work? My daughter, she's her first time graduating and she's voting for the first time. How the camera already in your house? And then you got the camera coming inside. It was already staged. Anything on the television is fake. Entertainment purposes only. Enter your mentals and tame them. That's what they do. Okay? So the Electoral College was created so that these votes wouldn't count for as a popular vote. Like I said, ever since we was youngsters growing up, you vote for whoever got the most votes win. And so now as adults, we forget that. And then when you go cast your vote and totally oblivious to the fact that, wait a minute, I'm in a red state and I'm a Democrat. You know what I'm saying? And so we be cognitively dissonant. We forget it, right? Obamacare. You mean government care? I tell you, these presidents are only what they call figureheads. Like the Queen of England, or like any, large corporation that have to have a CEO. That CEO don't run nothing. The board does. So the United States corporation is ran by a CEO, which is the president. That's why they get one every 4 years. Just like Microsoft, just like Apple, just like Google. Those guys are front men. And then they added 5,000. All right? So the whole notion of voting for president, what you're voting for a figurehead? I would be more apt to see, let's who's a congressional candidate, so who's the senatorial candidates, because when they write laws, which they write the laws, they can get laws passed. See, the president just needs to be the figurehead that's associated with Congress. See? Trump is associated with the senators because they're Republicans, but the divide and conquer comes into play when you talk about the Congress right now, because Congress is predominantly Democrat. See how they go, family? So no way, no shape, no fashion will they ever come together and do what's best for the nation. No. It's always going to be a divide and conquer situation, and it's always going to be a situation where you will be the one left out, us, paying all those taxes. And get $1,200. Okay? The United States Corporation of America, family. Thank you for joining me. In the meantime, between time, may the Most High decide to bring you joy and being with us out of 5,000.